Right, I'd like to talk about this book. If you're interested in going organic, this is a book for you. It's beautifully illustrated throughout, and it has many different sections on gardening, for instance, growing your own and companion planting, also recipes, which includes baking bread as well as making jams and other things. It tells you also about shopping locally, if you have any shops in your area to shop in. Also keeping chickens. I've got a very good section on chickens actually. It's got types of chicken, how to keep them. Also about keeping bees or geese, if you have the land obviously to keep them in. And also about green cleaning, a small section on green cleaning, which for instance it has a recipe for green cleaning your floors, which is very simple. It means you're not using any chemicals whatsoever. Making your own wine. It's a very, as I say, if you're thinking of going organic, I would highly recommend this book for you. There's a massive selection of things in here. Yeah, also pest control as well, using natural methods of pest control. Also for collecting, methods of collecting rainwater. For instance, you don't actually need a water butt. What I've done actually at home is I've got an old dustbin that I've cleaned out, made sure it's thoroughly clean, and I've put that to collect rainwater in. So you do get a lot in that. It's basically as big as a water butt anyway. So it's just as effective. You don't actually need to buy a water butt because they're very expensive. Oh yeah, and saving energy as well is included in this book. So I'd highly recommend this book if you're thinking of going organic. Right, I'd like to recommend this book. It's one of the best books I've read all year, and I found it's sort of one of those books that stays with you. It's basically set in Ireland during the years of the potato famine. It regards a family who are asked to move by their landlord. They decide not to move. Now at the moment the potato famine hasn't reached them, it's reached a lot of their neighbours. So they decide to stay. Basically the father decides he's going to stay, so obviously the wife and children have to stay with him. Then one day of course they go out and there's this terrible smell and they're basically all black and rotting. But father still decides to stay, so they've got no choice. You're talking about a wife, two girls and a young boy. And well, one day they come round to the house and basically they're all dead. But there's a young boy there, and as it happens, he's just about alive. Well, he managed to escape in all the furor that's going on. And it's basically about his adventures. I mean, he's a very young boy. I mean, he's got bare feet. So he just wanders off on his own. And he meets some other children, and they're living in the bogs, which is terrible when you think about it, but they've got these little cut-out bits that they live in the bogs together. Anyway, there's a female there. He befriends this female. They sort of become, you know, more than friends as it goes on. And somehow they survive as this little group, like a little group of scavengers, really. And then one day they decide to go and rob the landlord. So they got this plan. And they sort of get what weapons they can find, which isn't a lot, and they go there, and the sad thing is most of them are killed, including his girlfriend. He again manages to escape. He goes on his travels and he meets some new people, and it's basically about his life and what happens to him, and you know how terrible the conditions are then, and it's just amazing how he actually survives. I just found it a very, very moving book. I won't tell you any more really about the story because I think you don't want to know everything about it. But I found it a very, very moving book, and yeah, I would say it's one of the best I've read all year. I would highly recommend this book. It's called The Law of Dreams by Peter Behrens. Now this book I've just read. It's by Mark Billingham. It's not the D.I. Thorne series, which is absolutely amazing. And I would say he's one of the best crime writers around. This book is very different to his others. It's one of the sort of standalone ones. And basically it's about a couple who go on holiday to Florida. They meet a couple of other couples, they become friendly, sort of get to know each other a bit. And they're enjoying the heat and the sun. And then, anyway, there's this lady there, she's got a daughter. She's sort of slightly mentally ill. She's sort of over friendly with people. She doesn't realise there's any dangers in life. Anyway, one day, daughter goes missing. Bit of a mystery, and they're sort of trying to figure out what's happened to her. Unfortunately, later on, she's found. She's found in the water, obviously badly. She's been there for badly decomposed. She's been there for quite some time. Couples come back to England, and they decide to stay in touch by email. And they decide to have dinners around each of the couple's homes. to get to know each other a bit more. And also you get to know the characters more. And anyway, they're basically discussing, what could have happened to the girl and how sad it was for the mother, because the mother actually basically was hoping she was okay, and the mother's absolutely distraught. And then this young lady, who's a police detective's assistant, she's drawn into the case, because by this time, unfortunately, another lady goes missing. This one, they don't know what's happened to her at all. She just, basically they have to get involved because there's just no sign of her, nobody's seen her. So this goes on for quite some time. This police detective assistant, she goes to the different homes and she interviews them all. And you go through the book and you sort of think, I think you sort of get, the feeling that you think it's possibly one of them. Going by the character, going by their behaviour. But this book's full of many twists and turns. Nothing's as it seems. And basically, it's not until you get to the last page that you find out the truth, and actually it's rather surprising. I would highly recommend this book. It's Mark Billingham's Rush of Blood.